Let's get started. So thanks to be here today. We will spend, let's say, maximum 1 hour together. We have a lot of information to share with you, together with my colleague Jonathan, who will speak obviously about AEM Cloud, Adobe Experience Manager, how to migrate from on-premise to the cloud, but as well, we will share with you some innovation that has been announced last week at the Adobe Summit. So stay tuned. It will be really a great webinar. As I said, 40, 45 minutes of us speaking, and you can also drop your question in the chat. Jonathan can answer them live, or at the end, we will do like a Q&A session. So please don't hesitate. The agenda, straightforward. We will tell you, if you don't know yet, what is AEM Cloud, why moving to the cloud should be your next step, especially if you are an AEM on-premise customer. We have migrated already several clients to the cloud in the last 2, 3 years, and we will show you the right path to do it. We will as well share some benefits and real life, let's say, stories from our clients. We will finish with some lesson learned and tell you what could be your next steps if you want to move to the cloud. Who are we? So, well, my name is Samuel. I'm from Vas, Switzerland. I'm head of marketing. I have, let's say, 15 years plus of experience in the CMS DXP customer experience field. And I'm together with my great colleague, Jonathan. How are you?
Hello, Samuel. I'm doing fine. Thank you. I'm Jonathan, leading consulting in Switzerland with a lot of specialization in digital experience platform, and really happy to co-host this webinar with you, Samuel, today and talk a little bit more about Adobe Experience Manager as a cloud service.
Exactly. Let's move on. What is IAM Cloud? Well, as I said, I would like to say, a long history in the CMS business. I was working for another CMS vendor, a competitor of Adobe. I know pretty well the market. And what I would like to say is that IEM Cloud is maybe so far the only SaaS CMS of the market. SaaS means software as a service, right? And why I would like to say that it's the only SaaS CMS of the market? Because it shares common things with usual, let's say, SaaS product that we use on a daily basis. Automated update. You don't have to care about bringing your CMS to the latest level of feature, because Adobe will always push via a mechanism of pipeline management, of release management. They will always push the latest feature. So your CMS will be always up to date. I don't want to go into detail, but there is a cloud manager. It's a kind of cockpit where you can manage your instances. So it's really great. It's really a great job that Adobe has done here. Obviously, as well, it's always up and running, 99% uptime. Also, often SaaS, you can only configure, like you can change the configuration of your CRM, of your market automation tool. What is great with CMS is that you can customize them, develop new things, create new templates, new components, build your own integration with third-party tools. You can as well do that with IAM Cloud. So you have best of both worlds, I would like to say. You can, on one hand, you have the pure SaaS, let's say, view, and then you can still customize the platform. So it's really great. And finally, the licensing model is as well really close to what we are used to have when we are dealing with the SaaS software, or with the software as a service, sorry. It's basically pay per request. In the old world, let's say, it was server-based, so based on the number of servers you use at your premise, then you will pay more or less. So here it's really pay per request. So this is why I like to say it's really the only SaaS CMS of the market. And this session today, as I said, one of the big focus will be how to move you from the on-premise version to the cloud. And Jonathan, can you highlight a bit what
Yeah,
are the differences between both versions?
exactly. What you said just before is regarding AM as a cloud service, but of course it's interesting to have the side-by-side comparison to understand what is your life maybe right now with AM on premise and what it will be in the future. So when Samuel is talking about automatic updates in the cloud, if we compare this with AM on-prem, it's getting rid of manual version upgrades. So we all know what it is. We have the service pack, we have the feature pack that comes from time to time from Adobe. We have to upgrade our environment. We have to test. There is the development, the staging, the productions. It comes with risk. It comes with downsides, and everything else will be then managed by Adobe. Then the scalability. There is some businesses with seasonality where you have peak of traffic and stuff like this, which force you to forecast those traffic and make sure that your server will be able to host all the users that will visit your website. In the future, Adobe take care of that scalability horizontally, vertically, to make sure that we will always have a website running when there is peak of traffic. And last but not least, the maintenance costs that you have at the moment, because you have to take care of the infrastructure. You need to have teams that operate this infrastructure and take care of all these things. Tomorrow, you do not care about it anymore because Adobe will host your website. They will be on their servers, AWS and also Azure. We are here in Switzerland, so we also know that we can host in Switzerland, but then this is something that you will see with your managing country director with Adobe. This is really interesting because you were focusing on hosting something that's maybe not your core business, and now you hand over this to Adobe, and they are the expert in this regard. And finally, they come with a really strong SLA, 99.9% uptime. This means that even though you were worrying about the availability of your platform back then, now you hand over this responsibility. It's a risk management move as well that Adobe has to commit to these numbers and will make sure that your platform and your business is always up and running.
Yes.
Now that it is said, yeah, Samuel, I think we have also some great example.
Yes, but one good point that you mentioned about the server where they are, IM Cloud is available in Switzerland. We are Swiss. I mean, we are Swiss. We are working in Switzerland. By the way, if there is Swiss people in the chat, let's drop a Swiss flag. But it's really important because we, Jonathan and myself, we are managing our Swiss customer and some of our clients, including banks. They are using IM Cloud, and since it is in a Swiss cloud, I mean, is are really happy for that. Obviously, in other region, Europe, USA, we have also servers there, so everything is covered by Adobe. And yeah, so we successfully migrated clients from IM on-premise to the cloud in the last 2, 3 years. We are managing several clients. I cannot drop all the names, also for privacy reasons. We are not allowed to tell you everything, but we have two public case studies. One with GVB is insurance in Bern, in the canton of Bern in Switzerland, and SwissGrid is electricity provider. Both of them were on IM on-premise, and we migrated them in less than 3 months to the cloud. And we basically use these two examples during the rest of the webinar to give you some highlights of how we did it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you again, GVB and SwissGrid, by the way, for sharing those informations.
Yes. So yeah, yeah, these two case studies are on our website. So feel free to go on vascompany.com and look for the case studies, or maybe Jonathan, if you can share them in the chat if you find them. So now, why moving to the cloud, right? Why? I mean, we have two perspectives. First, IT perspective. I mean, the long-term vision is you should move to the cloud. I mean, honestly, guys, I mean, in 2, 3, let's say max 5 years, your CMS will be in the cloud. Your CRM is already in the cloud. Your marketing automation is already in the cloud. I mean, you need to be in the cloud. It will also help to do some operational savings, right? Maintenance reduced, less infrastructure cost. Also, less maintenance means less people working on the maintenance. So your people can really work on your core business. You should use your employees, your resources, your experts to work on your core businesses, right? CMS, honestly, is a commodity. Give that to the partner, let them manage the implementation. You focus on the core business. Also, I know that for banks and for insurance company, we know that we work with several banks and insurance company in Switzerland and worldwide. By the way, I mean, security is a key topic. Adobe guarantee the highest level of security. I'm pretty convinced that none of the company can reach this level of security. Also, the last point, landscape simplification. What does it mean? Well, IAM Cloud comes with a CDN. IAM Cloud can scale horizontally, vertically. There is as well a staging, a release process. So you don't need to care about all of this stuff anymore. So it's more simpler for your team. And now let's see why marketing should maybe consider IAM Cloud.
I will tackle the first two bullet points together, actually. The faster time to market and less dependency on IT. As Samuel mentioned a little bit earlier regarding the IT, you will have easier implementation on your website. This means that maybe you used to be in a company where you have release windows, some specific agenda for releases. So if the marketing team has to run a campaign and needs some specificities on the website to actually promote a new product, display new I don't know, informations for a campaign, they had to wait until the IT gave the green light to publish on the website because there was some security procedures and whatsoever. I don't mean there is no security procedure anymore. It's just that you will now decouple the management of your CMS features from your actually IT deployment that you usually have for your business. This means that now when marketing has an idea and they want to move forward with something, the developers can actually develop and release straight after the testing of these features. Then innovations. What's great is that with AEM Cloud, you will also have an innovation enablers and will get cutting edge features. I will talk with a lot of enthusiasm in a few minutes about what happened last week in Adobe Summit in Vegas. Really crazy stuff is coming to help marketers producing more content faster at scale. This is really, really cool. So this is the innovation that will happen only in the cloud. But there is also things that are happening right now, and you're cutting yourself from those new features that are exclusive to Adobe Experience Manager. Maybe some will come in the soon future on premise, but you're already late. If I just mention, if you're used to work on Adobe Experience Manager, you know the content fragments. On the cloud, they already improved the way content fragments are managed with a new editor and stuff like this, and it's not yet available on premise. So you're late. Actually, you could benefit from stuff that would increase the efficiency of your content management that are not available on premise. And we can't even assure you now that they will be available on premise in 3, 4, 6, 5 months. That's why we also stress this out, that moving to the cloud is an enabler for new features and efficiency. And last but not least, you will get the full benefits of the Adobe Experience Cloud and Adobe Experience Platform. This means that you will have a full ecosystem integration when it's about Adobe Analytics or Adobe Customer Journey, or when it's about the mailing, the automation, personalization, and A/B testing with Adobe Target. All these kind of things will be integrated in the cloud to give your user a better user experience in the end, thanks to personalization.
And the last benefit, maybe the most important one, is ROI. Here we mentioned within 3 years, it's a calculation we have made for one of our clients. It was we helped them to build a business case, and we were able to prove and to show them that in 3 years they will get an ROI, meaning that the cost of the project plus the cost of the savings in license, in operation, etc., the ROI was clear within 3 years. So this is one of the strongest arguments, obviously, for you because you might need to convince your management. And by the way, at the end of this webinar, we will show you how to get the buying because I'm pretty sure that everybody in this webinar or everybody watching this video, you are convinced that you should move, and we'll give you all the keys to be able to convince your management to proceed with such a move. Another ROI that is not, let's say, highlighted here is as well, and we'll speak more about that later on, innovation. You might miss some innovative approach if you don't go to this new, let's say, solution. So
Absolutely.
Jonathan will share that with you also very soon, all the latest innovation. But before showing you the innovation into that are coming in IAM Cloud, we want to share quickly with you an approach. Here's a project plan, right? This is the exact plan that we used for some of our clients. But here, what I would like to say is that we have an approach. We migrated several clients to IAM Cloud from on-premise to the cloud. So here it's not like a fake project plan. It's a real project plan. 3 months is doable, is possible. And we did it, by the way, several times. If I can, we don't want to go through all the steps in detail, but there is, let's say, key important steps. So obviously, at the beginning, you need to be ready. You need to prepare your stakeholders. You need to align with different people from IT and so on. Then the next step will be to prepare the code for the cloud. I mean, here it's quite technical. I cannot go into detail, but there is some differences between the on-premise version and the cloud version, and we need to adapt that. Adobe is providing tools to help us identify, let's say, the deprecated code, but basically there is some technical upgrade to do. But let's say it's quite lean. In parallel of that, we need also to prepare the cloud environment. This is quite straightforward, setting up all the cloud environment via the cloud manager. And more or less it's done in 1 month, preparing the cloud and preparing the code and the environments. Then the next step, let's the month number 2, we start to migrate your code. We validate all the integration with third-party tools. But the key aspect of the month number 2 is migration of content. And I know it's often something critical for marketers. My content is key. I don't want to lose anything. And I still want to operate the live version. And here, by the way, we don't freeze your website for 3 months. You still have your productive environment, the on-premise version, operating as before. Nothing's changed. You can still continue to create content on your productive environment, on your productive website. We will start migrating the content also. Adobe is providing a tool that can do incremental change. So basically, in the month number 2, we migrate, let's say, 90% of your content, and we do some testing on that, right? We test everything, we test the integration. And finally, the last sprint, the last months, we do some redirection, and we do the finalization of the content migration. So here is when the last piece of content is migrated. So if you understand what I'm saying, there will be a small, let's say, content freeze of a few days. Usually we try to do that over a weekend, so it's fine, but there will be like a few days of content freeze where we do the last bit of the content migration. Also, we will train your team, but mainly we will train IT and DevOps to use the cloud manager, because what we forgot to mention is that for the marketing team, IAM Cloud and IAM on-premise is the same backend, or the same admin interface. So no change for you. So your team will be, let's say, automatically being able to work with IAM Cloud right after the go live without any training.
That's one of the key benefits, I would say, is that you will be in non-water. This means that you can instantly start working about it. Samuel, also, I wanted to talk about something with you. You said that there will be almost no content freeze regarding the migration because we can do this last batch, last minute. So just for the time it takes to do this batch, this is the content freeze. But we also have to ask this content freeze, not really content freeze, but feature freeze to the IT department for quite some times when we do the migration of the code to the cloud environments, right?
Yeah, sure. Here's the migration, the feature freeze, let's say it's a bit longer. Let's say 1 month, 6 weeks. Obviously, we don't, if you want to go live with a new release with a new feature, with a new calculator, I don't know what, maybe let's postpone the migration. It would be better to have few feature change during this process. And as you said, it's 3 months. It goes quite fast. Uh, Also, one point is that obviously Rhino is mainly technical. The UI stays the same. The user experience stays the same. What we do is basically just changing the core system. But we will show you later on that it's more than that, in fact. It's not only a technical change, it's more than that. And we'll show you that in a few slides. And by the way, we did a webinar last year with about the same topic, about GVB, with GVB, our clients. So they migrated 15 websites from on-premise to the cloud, and we did that in less than 3 months. So there is a proof from our client in this case study. And as well, we did a webinar that is available online where we go deeper in the migration process. So we didn't want to do it again this time, but more focus on what's coming next, the innovation, and showing you stuff that has been released or announced last week in Las Vegas.
Benefits. What do you have?
Benefits. Yes. So what are the benefits? So here I will take also an example of GVB, our client. So you can see just, I mean, this
Wow.
happened right after when we turn on the IM Cloud directly. I mean, we saved half of the let's say, we increased by two the performance, basically, two times less loading time. This was the immediate benefit. Um, and here, as you can see, when we went in the cloud, like the performance went really in the green. So, but obviously we don't do migrations to the cloud just to have a faster website. But what
Even though, Sam, it's better for the bounce rate that has been reduced, the engagement with the user, the retention on the website, even though it sounds pretty technical when we show graphs like this, it has benefits for the users.
yeah, I'm clear. I mean, obviously, I mean, don't get me wrong here. It's a clear benefit for your customer, a better website, faster website, better customer experience. You reduce the churn rate, etc., or the bounce rate, sorry. And this was coming right after, without doing anything. But of course, there is more than that. And Jonathan, let's speak about faster go to market with you now.
Yes, sure. So you can go to the next slide. And you said that you have benefits for the users. So that's great. It is actually why most of the businesses are running nowadays to provide something to the end consumer in the end. But we also would like to have our life being easier and making sure that we can provide more to our clients, more value. And this is why when you move to the cloud, you can enable something that they name Edge Delivery Service, EDS. You may have heard about it. That is a performance first architecture. And you migrate your website, but then when you want to have a new brand or you want to do a redesign, you want to have a new landing page for a new campaign, you can actually work with this performance first architecture. And as you can see here, we already have some customers working with EDS, and out of the box, they have high performance scores, which is crazy. And also, Adobe, they came with a new WYSIWYG editor. So currently the page editor is working pretty well with the component, the dialogue, but they thought about a way to update and create content faster. And that sounds silly, and I was pretty skeptical at the beginning when I heard about it first, but you can even manage websites with documents. I, by the way, saw a name in the chat of one guy who I know he has a website and he managed it with documents. So you can, yeah, really update content with Google Docs or Word documents. This means that you can also reduce some intermediate step in your content management.
Yes, basically what you want to say, Jonathan, if I understand correctly, is that there is new stuff coming when you are on the cloud, but maybe it's not clear for everybody. So can you show us maybe what it means, because it will be maybe clearer to understand.
Yeah, sure, sure. I will share my screen in a second. You're right, because it sounds really weird that we can actually update a website with Word documents. So
Yes, exactly. So while you share your screen, I will quickly explain what you will do. So yes, showing us this new way of basically creating content that will be only available if you move to the cloud. Uh,
absolutely.
Jonathan, with your screen, perfect.
Great. So I will just browse one website now, any less, for example. This is a website that we built where we talk about a mobile app that helps people to get a better food diet when they want to get rid of meat in their plates. And here, so it's in German because the mother tongue is German in that case. And here, for example, we have some customer testimonials about the app, and I just got the feedback from my marketing team that they would like to introduce a new testimonial here. So what do I do? I'm on my website, and this is totally different than what you're used to with AM on-prem. Here, with this new technology that we can enable, I can just have this sidekick component here. I will click on modify. It will actually open a new tab with a document where you can find the exact same content. And here, for example, I actually got a review from Samuel. So as I'm a bit lazy, I will just copy paste the content from here, update the text, for example. Thanks to Annie Less, I reduced my meat consumption
Yeah,
without
it's true, by the way. It's true.
worrying about the macros. So, uh, of course, Samuel, you do not look like that. So I will find a nice picture of you right here. I will put it and click on the preview button. Now a new page will open. I can see the same website one more time. I can scroll to my testimonials. And here is Samuel. I'm happy with the content. Oh, actually, Samuel is so happy that he would like to give a 5-star review. So let's get back to this. Here, I will change. Instead of 4, I will go for 5. I will do another preview. Here, we will see in a second the same page updating. Bam, 5 stars. I'm happy with the content. I want it live. Publish.
Great.
Job done. That's really crazy. And when you have this in mind with this performance first architecture, that's what I want to show you here, is that if I go through the Lighthouse score, it's out of the box 100% performance regarding Lighthouse, which enables a great user experience, and also it's extremely good for your business because you will have better ranking on Google thanks to this great score. I will stop sharing. I head over to you, Sam.
Yeah, great. A quick bracket. I mean, obviously here it's coming with Adobe IM. We don't want to go into detail of what kind of website needs to use this approach versus a traditional approach. But if you're in Zurich in June, we will have event, a breakfast together with Adobe on the 25th, I think. Anyway, just follow us on LinkedIn or sign up to the newsletter. You will get the information where we will explain how to create content at scale, how to publish as well, different ways of publication, when to use a classic way of publishing, when to use this way of publishing. So based on the websites that you have to manage, based on the team size and velocity of content, you will need to opt for one option or another. So stay tuned. It's really great. Many great things are coming this year. And let's go back to my screen.
Yep, I can see it. All good. We are back to the slide. Do you want a demo? In the presenter
Then
mode.
we don't know. So, and again, if you want a specific demo, we can also have one with you. Just come back to us and we'll be happy to share with you more detail about the latest.
We'll have busy weeks thanks to you, Sam.
Yes, exactly, yes. All right, so now what we have learned, I mean, now we share our secrets. So if there is Adobe people in the room, please can you leave the webinar because maybe you won't be happy with what we found. I'm kidding. So what we have learned and what are our secrets. So, I mean, here some points that we'd like to share with you, like obviously analyzing, understand the dependencies, refactor if needed before starting the migration, because I mean, you can also use migration as a kind of cleanup. So it's always good to get rid of obsolete components and obviously here partner with another big expert like us if needed. Stakeholder management. I mean, we basically can manage such project without any, let's say, dependency with your IT team. Only one point at the end, we need them to do the, let's say, redirection, the DNS stuff, and so on. So as it's quite short, 3 months, it's important that they know already at the very start when we need them. Adobe relationship, obviously, finalize your license agreement before, negotiate as well with them. Minimize on-prem development. We said you can do some on-prem development, but it's always better if you have like 1 month of feature freeze. Optimizing during migration, as I already mentioned, why not improving some stuff while we are working on the component and templates? And finally, maybe one of the most important aspects I would like to say, and we will come back to this point again, manage expectation. Because as you can see, it's more or less the migration itself is a backend refactoring, right? After 3 months, you will see the same website, the same backend. So your management can ask what is the difference now? Okay, right? One difference we already saw is that you don't have to maintain server. You have maybe easier operation, but also innovations will come later and maybe very soon. What Jonathan showed you with EDS, with this new way of creating content, one of our clients moved to the cloud. And right after, they started new website with this approach. And also, the websites were done faster. So think about that. Innovation can come really soon. And one thing as well that we want to highlight is content requests. It's something that you have to understand is the currency of Adobe. Basically, every time something hits your page, an API call, a customer, a user, a bot, it's counted as a content request. So here it's really important that you monitor them properly and manage them properly because your bill can go up otherwise quite fast. But we are here to help you. And Jonathan, can you explain this graph here? What is this graph, in fact?
Absolutely. If by any random reason there is someone already in the cloud listening to us right now, they may have seen this. This is the usage of your Adobe Cloud program. And this come from one client. So as Samuel mentioned, when you will move from AEM on-premise to AEM Cloud, of course, you will get rid of your license of AEM Prem and you will have a cloud license. That is a kind of a pay-as-you-go model. You will have an estimation from your account manager at Adobe, and they will check how your website is working at the moment, what kind of content requests they can anticipate to do those estimations. And this is what happened for some of our clients. But then this is what's important in the project plan that Samuel mentioned early. We start with an assessment and an analysis of your code base. And what we usually do is that we check and rethink your architecture to actually then deploy changes that will reduce the number of content requests your website has in order to reduce your bill. So this is exactly what happened here. We changed the architecture and the way the codes are done. They were done in the backend. They were counted as content requests. We just changed it, done by the front end now. Then there is less call to AEM directly, and then we actually divided by 3 the number of content requests for this client. This means in the end a really happy client because they also reduced their bill, not exactly by 3, but they reduced their bill. So that's really the approach that is important to us in this content plan. Is not just going straight to the code migration, but analyzing to understand what are the optimization that we can do for you in the future.
And by the way, if there is Adobe people in the room, I don't want you to sue us because this is totally legal what we have done, by the way. It doesn't go against the term and condition of IAM Cloud. Even because, yeah, I want to be clear, there is nothing shady here. It's totally aligned with the term of and condition of Adobe IAM
No,
Cloud.
but
So
that's really important. Yeah.
and by the way, I mean, here, yes, for this client, we were able to optimize the way content requests are, let's say, handled. It has been discussed with Adobe also here. So we work together with Adobe and the client to be able to find a good way for the client to have, let's say, a sustainable growth of his website and of his business.
Absolutely. This is just things that you were not paying attentions before when you were running on-premise instance, and that we are now paying attention because we know that it can drive costs. So that's why, Samuel, you're right to highlight that it's nothing shady or weird that we have done. It's just that we are taking care of something that we were not taking care about
Yeah,
before.
exactly. Just another paradigm. All right. So your next step now, as I said, your next step, if you want to move to the cloud, because now you want to move to the cloud after this presentation, obviously everybody wants to move to the cloud. You cannot wait. Securing your buying and driving innovation. These are the 2 points that can be your next step, and one will basically maybe influence the other one. First, about the buying. You need the buying from your management, I guess, and other stakeholders, maybe IT stakeholders, marketing stakeholders. You need to sell this solution inside your company. What I want to highlight here is that the migration is not just a technical upgrade. If you see it this way, you will never be able to move to the cloud. It's a strategic move to accelerate innovation. You need to highlight the benefit. Jonathan already showed you with some feature, faster time to market. You can build new website faster, streamline operation, and as well new capabilities. Iron Cloud can put you as is a growth enabler. not just a system change, right? And about enabling growth, last week, Adobe announced really great stuff. And Jonathan, can you tell us a bit what will be available very soon if you are
You
on
already
the
see me
cloud?
smiling. I'm so happy that I can talk about that. So that's such a great timing, this webinar, 1 week after Las Vegas Adobe Summit. So there were hundreds of innovations, of course, because Adobe is really great supporting marketers in many areas. But today, what we want to highlight is things that are in the Adobe Experience Manager perimeter, let's say. So just four of the things I have seen and that I really loved and that will help you in the future. First is Adobe Experience Manager Sites Optimizer. They came with a solution that will analyze your website and make sure that it performs better, that you will then save cost in the future. One of the key aspects is SEO, for example. Of course, the first thing you think is like, hey, there is already hundreds of tools regarding SEO, third party, I can get an analysis of my website, blah, blah, blah. But what they have here on top is that it's within AEM. This means that you can have bulk optimization. So the solution will comes with a list of improvement that you may have. They will use then the AI to suggest you some improvements, or you can also do it manually. And then there will be a magic button. You can click bulk change, and it knows where are the issues, and it will update the content bulk. This means that you will save hours. Actually, you will not save hours because with the current approach, probably, and that's what I see on many websites, you just do nothing and you leave those errors there. Then the second thing, top right, this is a new hub that will land on Adobe Experience Manager and Adobe Experience Cloud. It will help you produce content faster. The use case they showed, let's take a bank, for example. You have campaigns, you need landing page for this campaign. For example, you have a mortgage campaign that will start soon. You will have an intent, and then agent AI will help you solving the issue and getting straight to the point. So you will write, I need a new landing page for my mortgage campaign for young people, for example, who wants to buy a flat whatsoever. And the agent will analyze the different kind of landing pages you've built in the past, what kind of assets you have available, and what is the tone of voice of your company. And it will collect all these informations and come with different variations and suggestions of a landing page with the content, with the right components, the right template, and the right text everywhere. And then, of course, you will be able to update those texts if you do not like them, and you will be able to submit the page for content approval. But I'm talking about AI. We are all afraid about AI. How do we make sure that the tone of voice and what the AI is saying is actually in line with our marketing and our editorial content? This is the solution. Bottom left, we have the brand guidelines. Adobe also came with a way of interpreting your content, all the rules that you have, that will be actually some items that you will be able to enter in these brand guidelines for the tone of voice, the brand, I don't know, some guidelines regarding the also things that you cannot say, and you will be able to fit this in the solution. And then when you will create content with AI, for example, or when you will update it manually, you will get the brand compliance and you will know if what you're writing fits the tone of voice of your business or not. And bottom right, this one was mind blowing. This is just a beta at the moment. I really hope we can play with it super soon. This is a solution to onboard website on AEM. Many businesses, as Samuel mentioned earlier, you have complex landscape, 3, 4, 5 CMS. Sometimes you have your corporate website on AEM and small blogs on other solutions. And one of the goals would be that you have only one CMS to rule them all, but this is project management, costs, migrations, risk, and you don't know what to do. And with Project Siteleap, they came with a solution that will scan a website that is not on AEM, understand the purpose and the content that is there, and map it to matching blocks from your AEM environment, and will place the title in the title block, the content text in the text content block, the images in the image, and will use the right format. And you will be able to migrate content at scale really quickly without, because we were able to do that with manual migration nowadays or technical migration with some scripts, but we needed to understand the backend of the other system. And now we don't care anymore because this is just through analysis of the website thanks to the agent AI. This is just four innovations, but I really love those. There is hundreds of others, so I really suggest you to have a look at the Adobe website. There is so much coming, and this is only in the cloud, unfortunately, for the ones who will stay on premise.
Yeah, and this innovation will help you to create content at scale, to also optimize your content and understand how to basically improve your conversion rate and stuff like this. So quite exciting news announced last week. And as I said, in June, we will be in Zurich and we will also speak about this new innovation. So stay tuned and come and having a chat with us in June. Last point, we are close to the end. What we want to say, basically, our message is that no, if you want to move, you need to build a strong business case. And obviously, we are here to help you. You can assess your current solution. Here, what you can see in this diagram, the blue part is what we have discussed previously. The blue part is the core updates, the integration, the test, the redirection. This is a project plan, right? But now you might be in the yellow part. You need to do a business case. You need to convince your management. You need to assess the solution, or you need to evaluate how to move from on-premise to the cloud. And we can help you. We can help you with this evaluation. So we have done that for many clients already so far. So analyzing your architecture, analyzing your traffic, analyzing your component, analyzing your integration. And within a week, we can come back to you with a blueprint for your migration. You will know all the tasks, you will have a project plan, and the cost of this migration plus the ROI based on all the analysis we have done. We can do that in 1 week because we have done that many times. So for us, it's a no-brainer to help you. One of our experts can come to you, maybe for a workshop on site and discussing with different stakeholders. We have all the information. 1 week later, you have your information to be able to sell that to your management. So to summarize the next steps, now the last slide, and then move to the Q&A. If you are ready to migrate, I mean, obviously, you have to work with the experts. And as you can see, we have a lot of expertise and we can help you in the process. If you are still evaluating, we would like to offer you a free assessment to explore the best path. So don't hesitate to contact us. We can do the evaluation for free. You will get basically this blueprint and you will be able to have all the information to move to the cloud. Here you have our email address. Anyway, we will also contact you in the following days by email or via LinkedIn, so to understand where you are right now in your process. So please don't hesitate to come back to us. It was really a pleasure to speak with you. Also, you can contact us on LinkedIn. But before closing this webinar, let's move to the Q&A. If there is any questions, Jonathan, maybe I will stop sharing my screen and we can have a look at the chat together. I don't follow all the questions, so I don't know if there
No
is some
problem.
question.
Yeah, there was one actually that we got during the presentation from Mark. So he saw that you shared about GVB, that we migrated to the cloud, and we also said that they are now using the newest solutions from Adobe with EDS, this performance first architecture, and he wanted to know if we are using the documents there for the websites.
I think you can answer the question, right?
Yeah, actually, I can answer the question. So, thank you for the question, Mark. One thing that is really interesting, Samuel said that, and we'll talk about it in a future webinar. Really looking forward is the way you create content and the use cases really matter when you define what will be the content authoring method that you will have. And for example, GVB, they have the constellations of websites with different purposes and use cases. The website that they used to run on-premise, we migrated on the cloud with the page editor, the legacy one that they were used to. But beside that, there is now a new website that is coming with different authoring experience and different team working on it. And what happened there is that we used EDS, so this performance first architecture. We did not use the document-based authoring approach. We used the universal editor, which is the new WYSIWYG editor to update the content in the page. They are really happy, and this one really fits their needs more than the document-based authoring. So this is really based on their strategy and the way they orchestrate and manage content within their team. But
Great.
it could have been possible with document, by the way, just to say it's a decision they took when we did the analysis.
We got a technical question, but I think I can answer this one. Is Fastly mandatory even if custom CDN is there? So yes, you can use your own CDN. Yes, obviously. I mean, Fastly is coming by default, but you can use your own CDN, right?
Yeah.
Mm, any other question in the chat? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Or just are you still here? Just say it was a great webinar as well. You can also say that, huh? If you have no question, just say something nice. But overall, yeah, I mean, thanks, Michael. Thanks, Michael. Overall, yes, I mean, we are, as you can see, we are really, with Jonathan, we are really excited about what IAM Cloud can offer. As I said, I'm in the CMS business for more than 15 years, and I know the pain of managing. I know the pain of managing on-premise installation for several reasons. You know, I don't want to go into detail, but you know it as well. And I mean, innovation also coming, and this will be really something that you should not miss. Two questions. Is there any automatic way to validate the content after migrated content? Here, I'm not sure if there is an automated way, but I know that we implemented some automated Q&A, Jonathan, tell me if I'm wrong, where we are comparing the previous version with the new version, right?
That's true. So what we have to understand also is the way the content is stored, it stays the same. So it's a GCR. We move from on-premise. There were placeholders for the content, and they will move to the same placeholder in the cloud, which really lower the risks. And then we have this cloud migration accelerator that migrates content from one placeholder to the other one to reduce the friction and keep the testing really fast to make sure that we validate the content migration. So it comes with tools.
Yes, many questions on different windows. So, Alex, we will send you the recording later on. So, yes, you will get it. It will be on YouTube. Another question about what challenges are involved in changing architecture to improve content request during migration. So, here I cannot be too specific, but content request is basically, I mean, a request hitting your server. I mean, your IAM instance, and usually the backend. This is where the let's say content requests are counted. So basically, it's understanding what drive content requests if there is a way to optimize it on the front end side. So here, it's more about analyzing basically the source, and this is where we have most of the challenge. What we saw most of the challenges is analyzing the source of the request and understanding if there is a smarter way maybe to handle this heavy load of request. So maybe it's not really super precise, but we will need to go into detail. If you have any issue, Debal, let's contact us and we can help you maybe with your website.
On top of that, Samuel, it's really important to mention that we also have an option in our offering that is what we call the AEM log. Sorry, the AEM log analysis, where we have actually real-time check of all the content requests that you have, and we look for anomalies or maybe some weird IPs to block them and prevent that, I don't know, some bots or stuff like this are sending a lot of content requests to your website and then increase your bill. So that's really important to know that we also have this experience. We got some feedback from clients, and we actually developed already additional services and solutions to tackle those problems.
All right. So technical question from Stefan. We connect to APIs that are available internally. What approach do you have to solve such connectivity issues? So, unfortunately, this is going beyond my level of knowledge. So, if there is any of our developer in the chat, maybe you can answer this question. But I know that, Stefan, what I know is that we done integration with internal APIs. So I know it's possible. Then in detail, I cannot help you here. But as I said, if you don't mind, we can maybe have a chat later on with one of our architects, and he will be able to give you a proper answer. Ah, ben voilà, we have one of our architects, Mark Shilly, who answer to you. Perfect. Risto, how responsive Adobe during incident or attacks? Um, Again, Risto, thanks for this question. I cannot really provide you a clear answer here. If they offer extra layer of protection, honestly, here I don't know. I will have also to ask one of our developer. But yeah, sorry for that. Um, Last question because we are soon running out of time. I saw Mark ask us as well when the new feature will be available. They were announced last week at the Adobe Summit, so some of them are in beta, some will come very soon, some will be available in the next 6 months. What I can tell you is that we will already do a second uh, event in 3 months where we'll share with you this latest innovation in Zurich. So, and we might do some webinars, so stay tuned. Another question, EDS need more configuration after migration? Here, I'm not sure what you mean with more configuration about migration. What I understood from EDS is that you need to have, you need to have a base setup, and then most of the work is done on the front-end side. Here also, I don't have all the detail, but from the project we have done with EDS, really the workload is really on the front-end side. So you leverage more your front-end developer rather than your back-end developer, and overall they can work all together. I mean, they work faster. Harry, I don't know if you are in Zurich, but we will speak about EDS again. I repeat a lot this thing, but yeah, we will share some info about EDS very soon as well. Source on IM 6.6. I have no source on IM 6.6 and whether is it beneficial to migrate to the cloud. Um, I would like to say that being on the latest on-premise version is always better. So this is our recommendation when we do a migration to the cloud. We first we move our client to the latest on-premise version, and then we move them to the cloud. So yes, it's always good to be on the latest version, on the latest on-premise version.
But so far, we do not have it on the roadmap of Adobe on the official website. Of course, they talk about it. I probably know also the source that you got from for this 6.6, but currently we're running on 6.5, and it's not yet really clear also the release date. I mean, I might be wrong, but I haven't seen it so far, just on some other blogs that comes from conferences where they talked about Java 17, blah, blah, blah. But if you go to the official website, AEM premise, roadmap, you still do not have it.
Michael Kropp just said that being on IM 6.4 might be enough, but obviously a modern version is suggested.
Mm.
Okay. Is SAML possible for in auto environment for cloud? I think yes. Getting authentication, this is as well working. Again, sorry, Harry, as you can see, I'm head of marketing. I'm not head of development, so I cannot answer all the question, but it is possible. Um, yeah, I mean, we have 3 minutes left. As I said, we will do more events like this. So if you're interested, let us know. And honestly, come back to us by email or via LinkedIn. Just drop us a message, what you would like to know. We can also prepare for you ad hoc meetings, one-to-one, or you and few guys from our team. And there is no issue. We can help you with your projects. All
Maybe
right.
answer Harry a little bit later about the question about SAML possible in author environments. Can you maybe in the chat precise a little bit more the question, like if it's as an author, you want to use SAML to log in to update the content, or you would like to give a publish and I mean if you could just share what's the use case behind it, then we can check with our developers to send you an answer back.
Yeah, what we can do, we will answer all the questions also offline, and we will send that to all the participants, obviously. So we will do that, and you will get better answer. So Harry, yeah, we will answer this question offline. Unfortunately, we are not able to give you the proper answer here, but yeah. Well, Mark just reply. Integration with external IDP by XAML is possible. So when Mark tell you something, it's true, by the way. All right. I would like to close the webinar. I would like to say thanks to everybody. It was really a great moment. Jonathan, did you like this moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending the webinar.
So thanks, everybody. And I repeat, come back to us and stay tuned for more webinars, articles, videos about Adobe and DXP. Have a nice day and see you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
VAS. Complex made simple.